Hi, welcome. In today's video, I'll be teaching you all about Brownian motion. What is Brownian motion, you ask? Brownian motion is the random movement of particles that you see with the naked eye or under a microscope. The particles, for example, pollen particles, dust particles, and so on, are being bombarded. That means they're being hit by the other particles such as water or air particles. This causes the particles over here to move in a random direction, and to be more specific, it will move in a zigzag motion. Now this is a zigzag motion over here. A zigzag motion is very random. It will just the particles will just move at any direction. It doesn't have any specific pattern that it follows. An example of Brownian motion is in sunlit rooms. You often see dust dancing in the air. It dances because the dust particles, remember dust particles are being bombarded by the tiny moving air particles. That means the air particles are hitting the dust particles. And so imagine this is the dust particle over here, and these are the air particles. And these air particles are bombarding or hitting these dust particles. And obviously, the dust particles are not gonna fight back. They're just gonna bounce off at any direction in a random motion. Now, I've drawn a little diagram over here showing this scenario. And so basically this is a room, a dark room, and here's a ray of sunlight. And the black dots over here represents dust particles. And if you see it under a microscope, you can see little tiny air particles bombarding or hitting these dust particles. And so that's why the dust particles will be dancing or moving in a random motion. Now, I have a question for you all. A botanist named Robert Brown saw particles from pollen jiggling or moving around in water under a microscope. The particles were not alive, obviously. Pollen particles are not alive. But why are they moving? So the hint is relate this with Brownian motion. Now, as you can see here, this is a little diagram, and these peach dots here represent pollen particles, and the blue colored part here is water, and the black arrows represent the direction of pollen. But as you can see here, the direction can be either over here. It can be at any direction, since it's a random motion. It's moving randomly. It doesn't follow a pattern. Now the answer to this is the particles, the pollen particles, move because they were being bombarded or hit by the water particles. So the water particles are hitting the pollen particles, causing the pollen particles to move in a random direction, or as you can say, a zigzag motion. Now here is a more understandable picture, I guess. These blue circles over here are water particles, and the peach circles over here are pollen particles, and the red arrows represent the action of bombarding over here, which means hitting, and the black arrows represent the random direction of pollen. Now, as you can see here, this pollen over here is being hit or bombarded by water particles. This water particle and this water particle. So this causes the pollen particle to either move in that direction or in this direction, and in this direction. And the same goes to all these pollen particles over here, and also the water particles. Now, that's all for today, and thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel as I'll be making more videos soon. And study hard. Hope you like this video and understand well. And if you have any questions to ask, you can just leave the questions in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone.